Hi there, everyone. Good evening and welcome to this edition of Startup Central. I'm Avan Dabash. Today on the show, we delve into the deep, dark and dangerous world of deepfake. From faking kidnappings to even threatening elections across countries, this is posing to be a huge challenge. So how can you stay protected? What can countries and governments do? We'll delve into that discussion. That and lots more lined up. But first up, take a look at our top stories. All right, let's kickstart the show then. And how about this? A video of Ratan Tata luring individuals into an online betting scam. Bollywood actresses like Rashmika Mandanna and Katrina Kaif's faces being morphed. An image of Pope Francis in a puffer jacket. An image of the former US President Donald Trump in a scuffle with the police. And even Queen Elizabeth dancing and giving a speech about the power of technology. What is common between all of this? None of these events actually occurred in real life and were all caused by deep fake. So what exactly is deep fake? Let's understand that better. My colleague Vinny Motiwala joins in with that synopsis. Vinny.
Absolutely. So first, let's understand what is deepfake, right? Where did this word actually come in from? So yes, it's a synthetic media that uses AI to manipulate the content. Now that blends real as well as fabricated media and makes it into a fabricated media. So this is really posing a lot of great danger in terms of deepfake. It is their ability to spread false information that appears to come from trusted sources as well. So that's a big concern that is coming from deepfake. Now, where did this word actually come in from? When did this start? Was in 2017. The term deepfake is a combination of deep learning and fake. That's what caused and combined the word, and that is deepfake, that was coined as a word in 2017. A Reddit moderator created a subreddit called Deepfakes and began posting videos used for face swapping technology to insert in celebrity faces, and that's when it all got triggered. Now this has been a big issue since that time as well. A lot of these issues have shaped up for a lot of famous celebrities, as well as none other than Donald Trump was also a part of this as well, when it actually his face was used and swapped with someone else's face, where it showed you as ex-President Donald Trump actually was in a scuffle with the police as well. Even Queen Elizabeth was not left to this, and she was shown dancing, giving a speech about power and technology of the certain examples of Mark Zuckerberg as well, Tom Cruise, other celebrities across the globe have faced a lot of issues, as well as celebrities in India have been facing a lot of issues on this deepfake front as well. So yes, a big issue and a big danger that has come in. This is where the origin came in from. Since 2017, it was called as deep fake, but before that also this existed, where the technology was used to swap faces, not only in videos but also in pictures as well. So yes, a big concern on that front, and that is where deepfake came from.
In fact, let's hear it out then from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that AI should reach people and it must be safe for the society, saying that deep fake is a big concern but needs to be made safe for the public.
नेगेटिव यूज को लेकर चिंता बढ़ रही है। भारत की स्पष्ट सोच है कि एआई के वैश्विक रेगुलेशन को लेकर हमें मिलकर काम करना चाहिए। डीप फेक समाज के लिए, व्यक्ति के लिए कितना खतरनाक है, इसकी गंभीरता को समझते हुए हमें आगे बढ़ना होगा। एआई शुड रीच द पीपल एंड इट मस्ट बी सेफ फॉर द सोसाइटी।
Let's also hear it out then from the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, announcing that the government is now going to draft new regulations to tackle deepfake.
Deepfakes have emerged as a new threat to democracy. So that's why we need to take very urgent steps to strengthen trust in the society and to protect our democracy. We had a meeting of all the social media platforms today and the companies which are leaders in AI tools and NASSCOM and professors from the field of AI, and we had long and a very candid discussion. We have all agreed that within next about 10 days, we will come up with clear, actionable items on 4 pillars in a very structured way.
So let's delve into the dangerous world of deepfakes, understand how you can protect yourself. Pawan Dugal is a cyber law expert and now joins us on the show. Pawan, thank you so much for taking time out and being with us. I think that this is a topic that really merits an expert giving us their views. So really appreciate you joining in. Now, you know, I read somewhere that deepfakes in a sense are similar to an online acid attack, meaning you take cheap revenge, you dishonor a person. And in the hands of cyber criminals, deepfakes are very dangerous weapons, and that can really disrupt and destroy a business, a government, and even a human being's life. Just tell us how dangerous really deepfakes are, according to you.
Deepfakes have the ability to completely demolish a person's reputation, goodwill, standing, repute, and even his or her own self-esteem, as also mental health. Now, it's not just a deepfake, which is an individual-centric element. It has got impact upon society. It's got impact upon nation at large, because deepfakes can be used to manipulate political content, thereby endangering the sovereignty, security, and integrity of countries at large. And in the country, we've been seeing deepfakes for a number of years, except now the deepfake as a technology has become far more sophisticated, far more suave, and it's increasingly getting difficult for the naked eye to specifically come and identify whether a particular video is indeed a deepfake video or not. But having said that, today deepfakes are prevalent all over the world, including in India. In the Indian context, I'm particularly concerned because India is the most populous nation in the world, and the Indian population is likely to become a kind of an experimentation ground, a guinea pig experimentation ground for deepfake videos and deepfake crimes per se. So therefore, the need for regulating the same becomes of topmost priority, because this is not going to go away. This will integrally be an integral part of our lives from today onwards and in the coming times as well.
Yeah, you said it right. And I understand that actually the technology behind deepfake is called generative adversarial networks, and was invented by a famous AI scientist, Ian Goodfellow. And it started off as, you know, maybe a fun way to, you know, a little bit of a fun thing. But the idea has clearly taken a very dark turn. Tell us a little bit more about the origins of deepfake. How exactly did it begin?
Well, it originally began as a kind of joke, a kind of an entertainment model, where it will be looking nice and cool to go ahead and morph the picture of one person onto the picture of another, and be fooling other people to believe that the said picture that was morphed was indeed that of the person that was being depicted in the said picture. But over a period of time, this technology started getting more and more evolving. We saw in the US presidential elections how a couple of deepfake videos emerged pertaining to President Obama and other political leaders, where the idea was to try to sway the opinion on the thought process of various stakeholders as they would go forward in their election process. But over a period of time, specifically in the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen some quantum jump deep in the terms of the further evolution of this technology. And the coming of generative artificial intelligence and its maturing has provided yet another new paradigm for further growth and dissemination of deepfakes. Today, deepfakes are getting more and more perfect. In a layman's language, a deepfake is nothing but a process of creating false electronic records for cheating. Now, typically, you can create deepfakes, but creating deepfakes on your system alone would not suffice. You will have to marry it with the process of disseminating it to other people, other stakeholders in the context of social media and the internet per se. And it's when the dissemination takes place, does the actual problem begins to start evolving. If you were only having deepfakes on an individual system or PC and nobody was to see it, it was not that kind of a danger. But the moment you start disseminating it, it becomes viral. And that's where you start impacting the reputation, goodwill, and standing of the concerned persons, as also even coloring the thought process and perspectives of the potential target who's potentially going to be looking at seeing all this. So it's gone in and evolved, but it's not a perfect technology yet. More new developments and advancements are taking place, and therefore we will have to be now alive with the fact that there'll be deep fakes all around us. So imagine yourself going into an ecosystem where there are Rampuri knives flying all across you, and it'll be up to you to try to protect yourselves from this constant onslaught of Rampuri knives. In this case, I take the analogy of Rampuri knife to show how deepfake videos could be floating all around us. And till such time there is appropriate legal framework to regulate the same, we will have to take care and caution to protect our own selves, our reputations, goodwill, and also our mental health as well.
Gosh, it all sounds so terribly frightening. But, at the same time, I understand that not every deepfake can be classified as disinformation if it's generated with the consent of the people involved. So, does that even make it deepfake, just to understand?
Please understand, if you were to take a random sample of 100 users and ask them how many of them would voluntarily, consciously give free and fair consent to their deepfake being made, the chances of the actual people giving such consent would be less than specifically maybe 5 to 10%. So majority of the deepfakes are getting generated without the consent of the concerned persons. And when the target of the deepfake is to cause prejudicial harm, injury, and loss to the concerned person, then it's a different ballgame altogether. And today, deepfakes are becoming a potent weapon to hit just about anybody below the belt. You can be perfectly clothed, yet your pictures and videos in the public domain can be used to create deepfakes, and you can suddenly find yourself being subject to a lot of cyber exposure, cyber harassment, and cyber nuisance. Recently, one of our clients had to face the brunt of it because these were a couple. They have a school-going girl, and the school-going girl was gone in the morning in the school taxi. And after an hour or so, the father gets a call from somebody who says that they have kidnapped their daughter, and they want a particular amount of money to be paid within 15 minutes. Otherwise, the daughter is going to be executed. The parents don't agree or don't believe this and ask to be that they must talk to their concerned daughter. So this kidnapper makes the parents talk to the daughter. The daughter's howling, crying, saying, "Papa, come and save me. These guys are going to kill me." And well, they negotiate, but they can't negotiate. At the 14th minute, they decide to pay the demanded amount. And thereafter, they again talk to the daughter, who says, "I'm now safe. Papa, come and pick me up." A location is decided, and they go and pick up the concerned girl. Now, on the way to the location, the father says, "Let me call up the school principal to inform them as to this could happen to us, this could happen to anyone else." So he calls the school principal, only to realize the school principal is saying, "What are you talking? The girl has been with us since the morning. She has never left school." So here they were able to capture the audio module or the audio sample of the girl child, use that to create deepfake audio, and using that were able to cheat and fraudulently get this amount of money from the concerned people. So this is now things happening in India. It's not happening in the West.
Oh my God, like my jaw is open in shock. I mean, faking kidnappings, that's just horrific. But there's also, I think that this is sort of a vicious circle because still technology actually finds a way to trace the origins. How does one even know that it's deep fake?
So therefore, the thumb rule is your naked eye today cannot help you determine whether it's a deep fake or not. So in this ecosystem, your best defense has to be your own self-defense, which is let's inculcate an element of distrust and mistrust in whatever we see or hear online. And don't rely upon such information till such time the said information is authenticated or basically corroborated by you by independent research. Now, if you're able to do that, then to a large extent that you can be protected. Otherwise, if you're going to rely upon any one particular video or an audio and take some decision, it could have legal ramifications for you in the coming times.
Okay, but now clearly this is, seeming to become an issue of the hour. It's being taken very seriously. You had the IT minister who said that they have emerged as a new threat. They warned that it has the potential to cause harm, and the Prime Minister as well deeming it as a serious threat, talking about how there is a four-pronged plan in place in order to, address the situation. What do you make of these efforts that have been taken by the government?
The government has the right vision and has its focused priorities well in place. Well, if the Prime Minister of India can potentially complain of being made a victim of a deepfake video, then clearly it's not just the Rashmi Mandanas, the Katrina Kaifs, or the Kajals of the world who are affected. Just about anybody is affected. And therefore, the need has come for this particular ecosystem to be effectively regulated. Now, for that, India has a couple of options. One is that we need to come up with a dedicated law on artificial intelligence and law for regulating the misuse of deepfakes. But please realize that's going to take time because lawmaking takes time. Second option is for the government to come up with rules and regulations under Section 87 of the Information Technology Act 2000. Now, this is the section under which they can come up with the rules and regulations mandating intermediaries to adopt minimum due diligence parameters for the purposes of ensuring that deepfake videos and audios get marked on their platforms and their publication and the transmission and dissemination is prevented. And finally, an effective mechanism is given for redressing the grievance of those victims who have become a victim of these deepfakes. It's in this context that the meetings have taken place by the Ministry of Electronics and IT and the concerned stakeholders. It appears that a lot of discussions have taken place. The messaging that we are able to get in the public domain is that the government is telling the intermediaries, hey guys, put your house in order, do your self-regulation before we come in with rules and regulations. And I think that's the correct approach. The government ought not to intervene till such time if the industries themselves are coming up with self-regulatory mechanisms to prevent the dissemination or distribution of deepfake videos. But in case that's not going to happen, it's important for the government to come up with rules and regulations because today, if I'm a victim of a deepfake video, I have no effective remedy. I may be a famous actress and I may get that concerned deepfake video removed quickly. But if I'm a layperson, I have no remedy. The social media companies don't listen to me. They don't acknowledge my complaint within 24 hours. And the law gives them 15 days to remove such deepfake content in case if it is not of a sexual nature. Now, 15 days is more than sufficient to completely demolish the reputation, goodwill, or standing of the concerned victim of the deepfake attacks. So I think the law needs to change. My gut feeling is that the government needs to mandate that the moment any person complains against a deepfake video, the same needs to be put down by the service provider within 2 hours, because anything later could then create irreparable loss and injury to the concerned victim.
Yes, indeed. I think a lot of these steps are definitely going to be the need of the hour. And, can you just tell us now, say a person like you and me, what if we discover that there's a video going out there, it's a deep fake, that's not actually me. What is, and say it's out on Instagram or on YouTube or somewhere, what is the top 3 things that I need to do in order to keep myself absolutely safe?
Once I realize that my deepfake video is out there somewhere, the first thing that I need to promise myself and others is that I will not be quiet. I will not go into the darkness unheard. I will make noise and I will complain about it. So my first duty is to complain this to the concerned authorities. The government of India has provided a national cybercrime reporting portal, being cybercrime.gov.in. You can go ahead and online report the same deepfake video there. You can also call up the National Cybercrime Helpline number, 1930, for the purposes of reporting the same. The second step that I want you to do is you must disseminate information about the deepfake to all your friends or family, or even use your social media handle to broadcast about it. Why? because I want you to come in the category of being a victim. Once you say that you are a victim, then this deepfake video cannot be used against you to your own detriment in the times to come. And number three, let's learn not to be part of the great Indian vomiting revolution, which is currently engulfing the Indian subcontinent. Almost everybody in this great Indian vomiting revolution is vomiting data about their personal, professional, social lives on the internet without thinking about the legal ramifications. Let's learn to share less, share only on a need-to-know basis. Don't put your compromising photographs or personal videos or photographs online, because they become ready fodder for these guys who would be using these deepfake materials. And finally, let's start adopting cyber security as a way of life. Let's start adopting a culture of cyber resilience. Let's take it as a given, yes, that we will be attacked by these kinds of deepfake videos. Therefore, we don't have to go into panic or into depression. Let's take it as part of our life. If you're going onto the road, you're wearing a helmet. And if despite that some accident takes place, we will tackle with it at the time when the bridge comes. But we will not go into a depression mode. Let's start being more cautious, careful, and hope that quickly law comes up to provide effective remedies to victims of deepfake videos, because the time is now pretty much ripe for India to come up with a dedicated law on artificial intelligence and deepfake regulation, more so when the existing law like the Information Technology Act 2000 and the Indian Penal Code is not at all adequate to deal with these challenges of deepfake videos.
I'm glad we ended on that positive note, given the deep, dark turn this conversation was taking. Pawan, it's been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.